Morning. In the interest of keeping things fresh, I thought I would do another different style of recording rather than doing one on the road today. I'm going to do my daily entry while I do the dishes. And this is something I enjoy doing, and it's something that I do daily. And last night, I fell asleep on the couch and didn't do the dishes. So I woke up a little earlier this morning because I also didn't take a shower last night. So I jumped in the shower. I've had my coffee, I've had my water, and now it's 9:21 on, what's today? Is it the 22nd? Hold on. Yeah, 22nd of March, 8 days until I start the trail. Total craziness. So, because I'm meeting my friend Reed today at a coffee shop over at the on Georgia State campus, I thought it'd be cool to go ahead and just, why is the oven light on? There we go. Go ahead and make this clip while dishwashing, since this is something I really enjoy. And since yesterday's clip was from the car, I'll just continue that theme of exotic places that I'm doing these clips from. It doesn't get much more exotic than right in front of the kitchen. So yes, I fell asleep on the couch last night. Couldn't really help myself at a certain point. I don't really like doing that. I don't like falling asleep on the couch, but at a certain point of the night, especially if I've had 2 beers, that really seems to be the clincher. And my friend, an old coworker from work, gave me a 6-pack, pardon the noise, before I left MailChimp. And so I've been having 2 beers instead of 1 beer every night, which I think 2 beers really diminishes my inhibitions enough to where I'll actually be willing to fall asleep on the couch. And so I wake up again around, I think last night I woke up around 12:45, and I didn't want to go through all these dishes. And again, I've described this before, but the process of waking back up enough to finish all the things that I haven't done yet, sweeping the floor in the kitchen, doing the dishes, making sure everything's in its right place, taking a shower, brushing my teeth, turning off all the lights. I did a bare minimum last night so I could go into my bed and fall asleep knowing that enough was done to be able to have a good night's sleep. So now I'm paying the piper on that ledger, doing the dishes that should have been done last night, and I'll be leaving my house around 11, probably 10:50 or so a little over an hour from now, to go meet up with Reed for coffee. I'm excited for that because I'm really curious to hear what his plans are at this point. Mine is, the Appalachian Trail, there's only so much variability you can get in terms of like direction and route and stuff like that. Really, I mean, it's about your speed as to that dictating where you'll stay at night, and there's not very much variability. So I'm excited to hear from him a little bit of an update on what he's planning to do when he bikes cross country. He's borrowing some of my lights that I had purchased for the same goal, and so it'll be interesting to hear from him about that. And depending on how I feel, and I think that it'll probably be a yes, I think that I'll try to walk over to where Lindsay works at Westside Provisions, because that's not so much farther down the road from where I'll be with Reed. The place that we were meeting at is called like Ebrisk Coffee or something like that. It's over on the Georgia State campus. I've never been to it. I've never even heard of it until he suggested it. But I'll be meeting him there. I just finished the pre-soak of all the dishes and get all the food fragments off, and now got a bunch of stuff I'm about to throw into the garbage can. A bunch of onion peel stuff. Into the can it goes. And so if I can do that, that would be cool. Potentially see Lindsay today. And Reed, that's what you call a twofer. And I think I remember the place that Lindsay's supposed to be working at. I think it's called, I looked at the directory this morning, Grown Local, or is that what Grown Collective? I don't really remember now. I think that's where she is working, and I think she works weekdays. I don't know if she works 4 days or 5 days a week, but it seems like there's a decent chance I'll see her there, and that would be a nice little surprise. Show up there. I think it's probably not much more than 4 miles further down the road from this coffee place. So round trip, we're looking at potentially 15-mile day, and that would suffice. I plan on leaving the dogs outside so they can enjoy the sun and the out of doors fresh air. So I'll come back and I'll have enough energy to do whatever I need to do around here, which I guess brings me to my next thought. I'm not committing to this, but I'll just say that I like the idea of trying to create an Android app before I leave for the trail. So I'd have a week, basically, to figure out how to make an app, and then to also create the idea that I have. And it's an idea that is based on something that I've done in the past when I'm using a desktop computer, where sometimes I enjoy having my own music play over like some sort of, I don't know, a lecture or like an audio book, or even sometimes a podcast potentially. I don't typically do it with a podcast just because it doesn't really need that kind of addition in my experience, but audiobooks for sure. So the idea, which I think it is called Chan Chan or Chan Chan, depending on location and pronunciation. It basically would just be a 2-channel mixer, and you would have the ability to listen to 2 different music apps at once. So basically, again, if you wanted to listen to a certain song, like an instrumental band album or something like that, you could listen to that while you listen to an audiobook or a podcast, whatever you wish. In theory, it seems pretty simple. I have no idea in terms of code how to do something like that, so it may not be possible to actually figure it all out in a week, and I'm not sure if I'll even want to do it at the end of the day. But I did start watching a little video from Treehouse last night. I just started watching it like 30 minutes ago. I don't know why. I was going to say last night. Maybe it's because I'm doing the dishes, and those were supposed to be done last night. In any case, that's something that would be cool to do before I leave, but it seems like that is definitely naive to think that I could not only create an app, but to create it with the functionality that I'm thinking. It would be super simple. It wouldn't require much, but how you define permissions and like letting apps do certain things, like I don't know how this is going to be done. And I guess, in any case, it would just be cool to give it a shot. I'm not originally inspired by this, but the creator of the Guthooks app, which is a navigational app used on the Appalachian Trail, a very popular one, pretty much the only one that I'm aware of. There might be more. I haven't actually looked into that very much, but he wasn't an engineer or developer or anything like that. He just had an idea, and he had experience with computers and an interest in technology, and so I guess he just taught himself how to do it, which, in this day and age with YouTube and stuff like that, again, the Treehouse videos and education series, you can learn how to do like stuff like that on the fly. So I want to give it a shot. At least I want to finish the 17-minute video about how to create Android apps that I already started, just to see what my impression of its ease or difficulty is. It's interesting already. I didn't realize, I don't know if all Android apps are created like this, but there's like this Android app wizard, like app creator. Makes the process look really, really easy. It's drag and drop, which is kind of crazy. So it looks like in the same way that MailChimp was like a drag and drop interface. And so you would just take your elements and then you would basically put them where you want them, and then you would define what they did. And then it basically does all the heavy lifting for you in the background. If it's really that easy, then it seems to me that I might be able to achieve what I'm looking to do. However, my idea may be more complicated than I'm thinking it is at this point, but in my mind it just doesn't seem hard. Basically, I would need to be able to have the permission to access the output of a given app, the audio output, and then I would need to be able to turn the volume of that output up or down, and I would need for it to be able to play simultaneously while another app plays at the same time. So 2 volume knobs. You can define which app plays on which side, and that's basically it in theory. So we'll see about all that. I need to do this pan last. This one's dirty. This one's got some fish residue on it, so I always like to save the oiliest pan for last, because I don't want to have something that is potentially fragrant or nasty. I don't want to transfer all that oiliness to other dishes, especially coffee cups and stuff. If I'm going to be having tuna flavored coffee, I want to save that exclusively for the trail. I don't want to be tasting fish in my coffee at home. So I'm doing that, saving that for last. Let's see, this little thing can go right there. I need this my little rice spoon. I need that to scrape some of the material off. This is what you get when you don't do the dishes at night. All these little morningside chores appear. Everything I didn't do last night has to be done this morning. But it's not bad. It gives me an extra little push to wake up when I want to wake up, which today I wanted to wake up about 15 minutes earlier than usual. I think I got out of bed at like 8:17, snoozed my clock once, and was able to extricate myself from comfiness. Little Egg had crawled into bed. She likes to come into the bedroom at some points during the night, I guess when she gets too cold, and then she'll sidle up to either me or Erica. She'll come up to the side of the bed, wait for you to open the covers, then she'll jump in, and then she'll basically go parallel to one of your legs and just scoot up against you. She's a little warmth thief, and it's cute and it seems endearing, but anyone who knows Egg well knows that she doesn't have an ounce of kindness in her body. So it's all just a ploy to get what she wants, and she's cute while she does it, so that's how she gets to do what she wants to do. It's not because she's actually got a good heart or anything like that. She's a terrible creature, and she's one that God has already said, this is against my design and against my plan for this little French Bulldog, for all French Bulldogs to exist, so I will constantly plague them with problems, and I will try to bring them home to rid the earth of them. They're unnatural, and they're a scourge. Little Egg, she had an ear infection for almost her entire beginning of her life. Not really sure how or why that occurred. We got her when she was a puppy, so to a certain degree, I guess everything that's wrong with her is our fault. We had the opportunity to raise her the way that we wanted to, and in terms of habits and temperament, all that stuff kind of falls on our plate for how she acts. But we both, when we got Egg, it was for Erica's birthday. It was sort of Erica paid for I think maybe 75% of her, and I paid for the last quarter, and so we shared the financial burden there, and I guess that was Erica's present. But we both had full-time jobs at the time, and getting a puppy is just, man, I don't recommend that to anyone who has a full-time job. It's very demanding, and it's very messy. Thank God I was able to come home every day on my break and check out the terrible mess that Egg had made. I mean, she was so young. We lived at a loft condo apartment thing at the time, and so we couldn't leave her outside. Plus, she was just probably too young to be left outside. I don't know. She weighed such a fraction of a pound when we first got her. I remember taking her out on walks, and if I pulled too hard on the leash, just absent-mindedly, like, come on, let's go, like, not trying to be mean or anything, she would just go flying. It was funny. But yeah, you know, she developed a really bad habit of eating her own poop, which is disgusting, and it's something that still sort of lingers to this day. And I think it's because we weren't able to get all that stuff taken away from her as soon as it would drop. So, yeah, if you're going to get a puppy, I recommend making sure that you do so when you have enough time to take care of it properly, or if you want to pay for some sort of a service or some sort of a sitter or something. The dog needs supervision, and if you're not able to give it to it, then there's going to be some consequences. So anyway, because of how disgusting and gross Egg was at the beginning of her life, I just sort of assumed that that has something to do with her ear infection that she developed. And that was pretty maddening, just because she would sit and she would just scratch her ear for like minutes and minutes and minutes. And it got so annoying because her tags on her collar would jingle as she scratched her head or her ear. And you know, she would do it in all hours of the day, and obviously it was worse. It was the worst at night. It was just like so annoying to hear like the clanging, and when we would hear it, we would know, yeah, that meant, you know, that's because of her ear, and then we'd feel bad, but we'd also be annoyed because we're trying to sleep. So, I don't even know how many, it might have been a couple years that she had this ear infection. Just, you know, we took her to the vet. We did, in fairness, we did our due diligence, and the vet would put like some really thick, like nasty stuff in her ear, which would seem to help her symptoms for maybe 2 weeks at a stretch, and then it would just come back eventually. And every time we took her to get this little ear procedure from the doctor, I'm going to turn on the garbage disposal real quick. Every time we took her to do this, it cost a lot of money, like an absurd amount. I want to say it was like $200 to have her ear irrigated by the doctor. And you know, we had the money to do it, but the fact that we had to keep doing it, and it was expensive, and it wasn't seeming to work, it was pretty frustrating. Looks like I forgot to clean off the stovetop, so that's the next thing got to do. And this is pretty nasty behind the sink, so I need to dry that off too. Anyway, at a certain point we stopped going to the doctor because it didn't seem like it was effective, and again, it was expensive. And earlier, I guess maybe late 2018, so not too many months ago, I did some Amazon searching for something that would help, you know, using crowdsourced experiences, hoping that someone would say, you know, this product was intended to be used for this breed, the French Bulldog, and it was effective. So I found this stuff, I think it was called like, I don't even remember, Otic Animonomosis, some sort of like, I guess, over-the-counter, for what that's worth. I mean, is there such a thing as prescription dog stuff? I don't see why there would be. Anyway, this stuff, I religiously put it in her ear every day for, I want to say, maybe 3 weeks, and eventually it actually seemed to cure her ear infection. She hasn't had an itching fit for a long time, and her ear infection was actually so bad that you could visually see it. Like, you know, she had like a lot of discharge in her ear and stuff, and you could tell what the problem was if you just looked inside her ear quickly. And so that seems to be better now, but now for some reason she has like this issue where her paw is sort of inflamed, and occasionally she limps, which I feel like she's not, I don't feel like she really, I don't know, when I see her I'm like, you're faking, and I don't really think she has the cognitive capacity to fake something like that, so I'm not really being serious there. But cleaning the top of the stove now. But that's her latest malady, and I've tried to put like some very basic antibiotics on it, just like some Neosporin style, Bactroban or whatever it is. But she doesn't really let you touch her at all. She doesn't like it, so you have to put the cone of shame on her so that she can't bite you and so that she can't lick her paw. But I had the thought last night that I should really try to give her some time with her paw, with some medicine on it before I leave, because I don't think Erica's going to do that. And I don't want her to get worse. Ugh. So, just finished the dishes. So let's go ahead and feed the dogs next. Got Charlie first, pouring out his old water. Got to clean the bowls. Yesterday I bought an 11-pound bag of food, which is like more than twice the normal size bag of food that I buy, so that Erica won't have to buy dog food for a while after I leave. Also bought them some more rawhides so that she can bribe them to do what she wants. They'll basically do anything for a rawhide. So here's Charlie's food and water bowl, clean and ready. Now let's fill it with some food. Also bought a new trash can, exciting news, which seems to be doing well. I think Erica approves, so that's always nice. There we go. Charlie! Now it's time for Egg. And I think after Egg eats, I'll grab her and put something on her paw. Hey, baby. Ugh. Put some of this water into this plant. Hey, baby. Let's see if she limps. Yeah, she's got a bit of a limp. It seems like it comes about after periods of not moving. But also, I don't know, I can't visually see that there's anything wrong with her paw, aside from just maybe some inflammation. There was one time when I looked at it and it seemed to have some cracks in her actual paw, and that might have been just from walking. She can't really walk very far, and sometimes I take her farther than I should. That's probably enough for her. Come here, Egg. Come on, baby. Hey, Char. Egg. Anyway, there you go, Egg. Ugh, eat it. Go eat it, baby. Yeah, I'm looking at her paw right now. It's a little red. Go eat it. Can't really tell if the redness is from her licking it or if it's actually like an underlying inflammation. But in any case, I will try to treat that before I head out today, so that she has something on there that's not just her saliva. There's been a lot of gross information about Egg, but to be fair, that's pretty much her market. That's what she has a monopoly over. She is a gross dog who happens to look a lot cuter than her grossness would belie. You wouldn't expect such a cute little dog to be so thoroughly disgusting. Alright, well, dishes are clean. Yeah, it's 23 minutes. That's a solid clip. And probably better and more interesting than whatever would have happened if I just recorded myself on my way to go meet with Reed, because I think I'm going to be in a little bit of a rush, or at least, if not a rush, just trying to get there within an hour. It's almost exactly 3.5 miles away to get to this cafe, so that is precisely 1 hour at a very just above moderate pace. So I don't know if I'd necessarily be in the zone to talk much during that, especially if the first 20 or 30 minutes of that, I can't really talk very well and walk very fast. Obviously, I get winded. I'll go ahead and make my breakfast real quick, and then I'll go from there so I can eat it. I think we're going to do some oatmeal and some kefir. So get the honey down, get the cinnamon down. Been trying to really up my probiotic intake as much as possible before this. Grab some walnuts. Got the kefir. That's everything I need from the fridge. I bought some fruit and nut instant oatmeal from Kroger a few days ago, and it's disgusting. It tastes terrible. It's like, something about it just tastes artificial. I don't know what it is, but it's really hard to eat. Typically I'll get plain oatmeal, and then I'll just make it sexy. Here, I'll put honey on it and stuff like that. Hey, baby Egg. Looks like everyone's done. But this stuff is nasty. I don't know how many more bags I have left. I already bought some regular plain oatmeal so that I could go back to eating something that's a little bit more palatable. I've got 5 bags of that left. Stuff is so gross. So I've been trying to split the difference by adding plain oatmeal, and then hoping that cuts some of the flavor of the flavored oatmeal. But in any case, today I'll treat myself, and I'll just have some normal plain oatmeal. This is like the most boring thing I could ever talk about. But I'm trying to fill space. You guys want to go outside? You want to go outside, or do you just want a treat? You guys just want treats. Oatmeal. So yeah, for what it's worth, if you have a palate that's exactly like mine, you will not like the Kroger Instant Fruit and Nut oatmeal. Fruit and nut is such an exaggeration too. I think there's like 1 raisin and like 1, I don't even know what's in there in terms of nuts. What does it say? Does it say walnuts? Raisin, apple, and walnut. I didn't know it had apple in it. Maybe that's another reason why it tastes so weird. Apple's sort of a weird thing to add. I don't really like the apple flavor, like apple cinnamon. It's kind of gross in my estimation. Walnuts are on. Now, pour a little bit of this kefir. Gonna need to break that up with some water. It's a lot of thickness. Sickness for the thickness. That should be good. Give it a little stir. The dogs are getting anxious, Charlie in particular. He wants his dessert. He knows he's well trained. Lol. He should start barking any second now. He feels he's being done a great disservice by not getting his rawhide the instant he finishes his food. And he's letting me know. I don't know if that's audible, but this is what he does every day. This is what Erica gets to deal with all by herself for the next several months. Lucky her. Charlie, what do you want? You want a rawhide? Egg, you want a rawhide? Egg gets half a rawhide, and then Charlie gets a whole one. And you pretty much have to crate Charlie to give him his, because Egg will steal it. She's the alpha here. Hey, Egg. Hey, Charlie. You guys hungry? You ready for a rawhide? Egg, is your paw okay? All right. My breakfast is ready, so we'll let that sit so those oats can plump up a bit. Come here, guys. Rawhide time. Let's see. There should be a half one in here. Here it is. That's for Egg. Egg! She was just about to attack Charlie. Wow. Okay. Then we'll take this rawhide. Come on, Charlie. Let's go to the crate. Come here. Come here. Wait, stop. Come on. Let's go to the crate. Come on. This way. Come on. Come on. Let's go to the crate. Good boy. Let's go to the crate. Bye, Charlie. All right. Jeez. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. This is about as straw grabbing as you can get. And I think I will go back now to watching that Android app tutorial. And that'll be it for today. Take that for what it's worth. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.